Good afternoon, y'all. It's Sunday, June the 30th. It's about 1:45 in the afternoon. And I'm going to fry up some chicken today. And if I'm going to go to the trouble of frying chicken, I might as well fix myself some side dishes. So I'm going to have green beans and mashed or creamed potatoes, whatever you want to call them. I'm getting ready to prepare my green beans for cooking, and I have 2 cans of no salt green beans, and I am going to put a little bit of onion in the pan to give it a little flavor. And you can have fresh green beans, canned green beans, no salt, with salt. It doesn't matter. Whatever kind of green beans you want. If you don't like green beans, you can have green peas, or you can have corn and mashed potatoes. Whatever you want. Some asparagus or Brussels sprouts. All kinds of choices. Just depends on what you want. Or what you have in your pantry. And I happen to have green beans, and I like to have something green on my plate when I eat. Don't always get it, but that's what I like to have. Now I'm just going to brown this onion in a little bit of olive oil. You can use any kind of oil you want. Vegetable oil, canola oil, avocado oil. Or you can use bacon drippings, which would be, of course, that'll taste good. And I don't cook that much bacon, so I rarely have bacon drippings. I know my mother, every once in a while, when she made fried chicken, she would use her bacon drippings. She had saved enough bacon drippings to cook the chicken. And man, I tell you, it was good. And I'm going to have to stop here for just a minute. I got something in my shoe. Hold on. Okay, that's better. It was distracting me. Okay, I'm going to let those onions get a little, cooked. Just depends on how much of a hurry I feel that I'm in. I might let them get real brown. I might not. Get these. Okay. I got those open and ready. Okay, in the meantime, I've got maybe 2 cups of flour in this plastic bag. I'm going to put some salt in here. And that's just personal preference. Anytime you add seasonings, that's always a personal preference. Okay, some black pepper. And let me open up my pantry and see what else I can find in there to use. Alright, I've got some Hungarian half-sharp paprika. Put some of that in there. I got some white pepper. And I got some cayenne pepper. And I got some poultry seasoning. Alright. And I'll just shake it up. Get all those spices in there. And just take a look. Can you see your spices? If you can, you probably got enough. If you can't see it, then add a little more. like my black pepper, it's a little bit sparse, so I'll add a little more. Okay. And a little parsley. Can always use parsley. Okay, and I do have my Dutch oven, my cast iron Dutch oven. I had the oil in there heating up. I don't want it to get hot too fast. Okay, my onions are a little bit brown. There's a couple of them that's got a little burnt pieces on there, which is good for me. Just a little bit of flavor. Okay, now I am going to add my canned, no salt green beans to the onions. And these sides, you know, that's a lot of green beans for one person. But I'll have dinner ready that I can eat for 2 or 3 days. I still have squash from yesterday. I'm going to put some black pepper in there. Okay. And I'm going to leave the salt out of there because that's why I bought the beans, because there's no salt. And I've got salt in my seasoning for my chicken. And I'll put a little salt in my potatoes for my mashed potatoes. So I'm just, you know, I don't have to have salt with everything. Especially since I need to watch how much salt I intake. Okay. Now this chicken has actually been soaking now for 2 days. The video I put up of whole chicken, yellow squash, and sweet potatoes, I had a real time getting that thing uploaded. And it actually, I had to do it over a period of 2 days. So, this chicken has been in here in buttermilk, 1 egg, and hot sauce for 2 days. So it ought to be nice and tender. Okay, I can feel the heat on that. It's not quite what I want yet. Alright, now these potatoes, I believe these are Yukon Gold. They were in the, got them at Kroger. They were in the markdown, 99 cents. And I thought, when I was thinking about what I wanted to cook, I was thinking, oh, I'll just, you know, wash them real good and put them in the pan and just leave the skins on them. But I got one here, it's pretty big size, so I think I'll peel them, and I'll have a little butter, and I got some cream I need to use up. I'll put that in there. Okay, I'm just going to wait for this to get to the right temperature, and then I'll be back. Okay, while my oil is getting hot, I'm going to start throwing this chicken in here. Now, this is half of a whole chicken. So it's 1 leg, 1 thigh, 1 breast, 1 wing. And I did cut the breast in half because it was so large. You know, that's just ridiculous. And the wing, when I cut it, I took off a little bit of the breast meat so that the person that gets the wing, which would be me, will get a little extra meat on there. Let me wash my hands. Okay, let me shake this around. I'm going to leave the air in there so my chicken has room to get the flour on there. So that can just be sitting in that flour while I'm waiting for my oil to get hot. And if you've ever thought about cooking your own chicken, if you've never cooked fried chicken before, just know that it can be expensive. You know, you buy the oil, you have to buy at least 32 ounces. Your chicken, this whole chicken I bought was $9. It was $1.79 a pound. I cooked half of it in my air fryer. The other half I'm gonna fry. So you have that expense. Then you have the time it takes to cut the chicken and then to let it cook. Plus you've got to make all your other sides. So you think that it might just as well be better to stop by one of your favorite chicken places and just buy your chicken. And of course you can do that, especially if you have one that you really like. But if you want to go in and make your own fried chicken, then you should do that. Maybe it's just a special dinner every once in a while. Maybe for somebody's birthday you'll make homemade fried chicken. And like I said in my video about the whole chicken, yellow squash, and sweet potato, my husband loved fried chicken. He liked it crispy, and I cooked it once a week. When we first got married, I started out cooking it in vegetable shortening. Then I moved to canola oil, and that's what I use. A lot of people use vegetable oil or peanut oil. You can use kind of any oil you want, lard or bacon drippings, whatever. But you know, sprinkle it with a little flour. It's not quite ready yet. What was I saying? Making a chicken dinner takes time, and I did it once a week for 25 years. My husband and I were married for 26, and of course, you know, you cook if you're married. You ladies, most of you ladies, will cook according to what your family likes. If your husband likes crispy fried chicken, you're going to cook crispy fried chicken. And as the children come along, they'll like crispy fried chicken. You know, they get a little older and they decide that they don't like it crispy. They like it soft, like Kentucky Fried Chicken or something. But, you know, your cooking is shaped by the way you were raised, the way your husband was raised, or your partner, what part of the country you're from, what ancestors influenced your cooking. You know, if you have German ancestry or Spanish ancestry, your food is going to reflect that. So I have to say that I don't think there is a right or wrong way when it comes to cooking. It depends on what you and your family like and what you're willing to cook, what you're not willing to cook. You know, if you're always getting complaints, well, you don't want to cook that something, you know. Let me turn this burner off. Let me just dip this leg in there and see what sound it makes. No, it didn't even sizzle. I'm going to turn this heat up. It'll take forever for it to get hot enough. Let me just shake that up again. Okay, so remember that. There's no right or wrong to cooking. Now, I do like to be the rebel in the kitchen. My husband would say, boy, this whatever it was I made, it was really good. Did you use a recipe? I say, no. He'd always be disappointed because he knew the next time I made it, it wasn't going to taste the same. I like the excitement of trying new things, you know, one week I'll cook my fried chicken and put certain spices in it, and then the next week I cook it and I put a different spice in it. I like experimenting, and cooking to me is like, it's like painting. You have all kinds of colors that you can use when you paint on canvas or on paper or whatever. And it's the same with cooking. You have all kinds of fruits and vegetables, and of course our meats. There's not a lot of different kinds of meat, but you can cook it in a lot of different ways, and you can have hot and cold food. The textures can be smooth or have some texture to your food, and that's my favorite kind of dinner, is to have different textures, hot and cold, and different colors. That just makes a meal so exciting to me. And then of course, if you're thinking, I can never think of a good menu. My menus are always so terrible. Well, just think about when you were in school as a young kid. What did they serve you? Of course, I'm going to be 70 in July. So when I was in grammar school and high school, we had real food served on a real plate. Well, it was Melanac or Mela, kind of that plastic plates. And we'd have spaghetti and a salad. The salad was made with iceberg lettuce, radishes, and tomatoes, and they used mayonnaise as the dressing. We would have fish sticks with mashed potatoes and butter beans. We had real food. So think, if you're from that generation, think about what your menus were. Think about when you go to a restaurant, what do they serve? And you can do that. If you're unsure, I'm sure if you Google menu, what do you serve with fried chicken, or what do you serve with whatever, it'll come up with some ideas. And everybody talks about the South and the fried chicken from the South. Well, we're not the only ones that make fried chicken. I have a friend that was born and raised in Bakersfield, California, and she loves fried chicken. And she will, now that's right. You see how it's sizzling? Let me turn this down so you can see. You see how it's sizzling? That's what you want when you put it in there. I had it on high, and now I've turned it down to medium. I'm going to put all this chicken in there. Since I'm only doing half the chicken, I know I'll have room to put all of it in there. I'm just shaking it off. Okay. Just move that around to get it down in there. Now, I'm just going to leave it like that. I may adjust the temperature here and there, but I'm just going to let it cook for at least 10 minutes before I touch it again. Let me get all these little bits and pieces in here, and when the chicken's almost ready, then I'll put in the livers and the neck and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm peeling these potatoes. I'm using my little peeling knife that my friend Ramona gave me. I sharpened it, and I just going along here. Have you seen some cooks, they peel potatoes and they take half the potato with them? Ramona was the one that mentioned that to me. She was very good at peeling potatoes. And so I thought, I need to use my little scraper. I bought a set of 3 and I need to use them. And they work really good. And I don't it's not the first thing I grab because I didn't grow up with a potato peeler. I know some people did, but it seems very strange to me, but it does a wonderful job. I'll have to go back with a knife. There's some places that are kind of deep on the potato that need to be cleaned, but overall it's pretty quick. I guess that's why the military had those men in there peeling potatoes using I guess they had a potato peeler. I seen old film, but I hadn't paid attention to that. But anyway, I'll just peel these and then I'll go back and make sure I get all the little bad spots off and pick up the ones that are falling on the floor. Okay, the chicken's been cooking for about 15-17 minutes. Let me see about turning it over. I'm going to turn the heat up. Just flip all those pieces over. Alright, I'm going to start my potatoes. I peeled them and cut them up. You add a little salt. And I'm going to add some garlic. I'll put that garlic that I used when I air fried the other half of the chicken. Let me get some of that. It didn't roast real soft, but it is a little bit tender. And I'll put some of that in my mashed potatoes. There's one. Let me cut that little end off of it. Okay. I like the flavor that garlic gives to mashed potatoes. And usually I never have any roasted garlic left, so this ought to taste pretty good. Get that little end off. Put that in there. Okay, that's 3 pieces. That ought to do. Still got a little bit left. Throw this away. Okay, I'm going to let the chicken cook a little longer, maybe 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to take off the chicken. Turn that down because I'm going to be putting my gizzard and liver and all that in there. Okay, now when I took up my fried chicken when my whole family was around, I always put the white meat on one side of the plate and the dark meat on the other side, just so it would be easy for family members to get the piece they wanted. Okay. Alright, breast, chicken wing with a little bit of the chicken breast on it, leg and thigh. Okay, now we'll put in the leftovers, call them. Okay, there's the gizzard, the neck, piece of neck and back, and chicken chicken liver and the heart. I'm going to save that flour for when I make my gravy. Okay, there's the chicken. I'm going to put it in the oven while the rest of the livers and all that cooks. Okay, I'm going to get some of this chicken grease here. Put in my pan with a few bits. The bits make it better. Alright. Now, take some of this flour. Okay, while that's coming up to heat, I'm going to get some hot water. Okay, I think the ratio of flour to oil a little bit too much. I'll add some more flour. Now, in the first years of my marriage, a lot of times we couldn't afford to buy milk. So I usually ended up making most of my gravy with water. Or if I had boiled the chicken, or something like that, I would use some of the liquid from where I had boiled the chicken. But I saved the milk for the days that I wanted to have milk gravy, or some people call it sawmill gravy or poor man's gravy, but milk gravy. So yeah, I just learned to use water, and because especially these days, milk can be very expensive. So if you can't afford the milk, just use water. Okay, I'm going to let that cook a little bit. Okay, I got this flour mixture. It's pretty brown, like crayon brown. But I like I like it like that. You don't have to make it that brown. Okay, I'm going to add a little water. And I'm going to add a little milk. I got to thinking about my shirts that I used to wear around the house, when I was married. I just had, old t-shirts on. And I realized, thinking back, that most of them had little greasy spots all over them from me cooking chicken or fried pork chops or fried this or that. So I had to be careful. My rule was not to wear my good shirts around the house, just to wear, old t-shirts and things around the house, because I'd be cleaning with bleach and get little white spots on my clothes, and so I'll have to check this shirt out and see if I got any spots on it. Okay, I'm just gonna let that cook and get a little thick. And as I guess you can see, it's got lots of little bits in it, which is mighty fine. The gravy itself is smooth, but it's got all those little bits in there that gives it all that good flavor. And this cast iron, I don't know, is it a 6 or 8 inch? I'm just not happy with it at all. I think I bought it at Bed Bath & Beyond, and it will not season properly. I made a pan of cornbread yesterday afternoon, which ended up being a nice afternoon snack, but even cooking the cornbread in there with plenty of oil in it, well, no, actually I used Crisco shortening. It still didn't season up very good. You know, my old pans are like, if I'm good to them, they're like glass, just smooth. But this one never has. I've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. You know, it's not a terrible pan, but it certainly doesn't want to season up very well. Okay, I think that gravy is ready. Okay, I'm going to mash the potatoes. I poured off the water, or most of it. I left some of the potato water, I should say. I'm going to put in some butter. That's up to you how much you want to use. If you want to use a whole stick, go ahead. Use a half a stick. You know, it's up to you. And I'm going to use a little cream. I normally use milk, but I got a little cream, about this much in the container, so I might as well kind of use it up. And get my potato masher. I don't want to get out my mixer. I just rather do it this way. And the potatoes were fork tender. Probably got too much liquid in there, but that's okay. Well, it'll soak up in a little bit. And of course, if you or your family or your husband or partner like mashed potatoes to be real smooth, then of course use your mixer or your hand mixer or immersion blender. I've seen those immersion blenders, you know, in different videos. Seems very attractive. I have to think about getting one. I mean, I can cook without it, but I can see where it's nice to have one. Okay. Potatoes are done. Okay, set them over here out of the way. My green beans are done. Gravy's done. Let me rinse this off. Okay, let me get out these bits and pieces. Okay, I've turned off all the burners, and now I guess I'll make myself a plate. Okay, what time is it? It's 3:08, and I started at about 1:40. So yeah, it takes a little while, but I've got dinner for like at least 2 days, if not 3. So let me get some green beans, some mashed potatoes. They're very fluffy. Let me make a little pond in my potatoes. Let me get some gravy here. If your gravy gets a skin on it, just stir it. It's fine. And little girl is hanging around. She likes people food. I've not had a cat that wants people food. Of course, you know, cats they like maybe chicken or fish or something, but she will want what I'm eating. Let's see, what piece do I want? I think I want the wing with the extra piece of breast on it and the chicken liver. Okay, there is my plate. I think I'll enjoy this. Now, before I actually eat, I'm going to cover everything so a little girl doesn't get up here and jump up on my food. So, y'all have a good afternoon, a good evening, and please remember to be kind to someone. Someone needs your kindness today. See y'all. Bye.